Oh, hi. um, Hi YouTube. It's Brianna. Long time no see, right? um, well, let's get started because I can tell that it's already going to be a long video. The first thing that I want to talk about is my mom's new boyfriend, John. And I'm sure that you'll hear me talk a lot about John in the next couple videos. He is such a sweetheart. Like, I can really see why mom likes him now. I mean, he's just so nice, and he really just is giving me all of the stuff that my dad could never give me. Like, he loves me, and he just, gives me that affection and affirmation and everything that a girl needs from her father, he is giving me. Which, in a way, is kind of conflicting because I can't love him as much as I do love my dad, or it's a requirement kind of love, I guess, because I don't really love my dad at this moment. But I don't want John to replace my dad, and he doesn't want to replace my dad either. That's an issue for him. So, but he really does a lot for me. I mean, he picks me up from Bowling Green all the time, and we have spent the day together just doing stuff that I want to do. I mean, he got a pedicure with me, which is pretty sweet. He's just super nice, and I really do love John. He's so nice. Um, the next thing I want to talk about is Michael, because I did talk a lot about Michael in my last video, and in a way John has kind of become an issue between Michael and I, because he's just so much better than Michael. I mean, he goes out of his way to do things for me, and he wants to make me happy, and I think Michael is very jealous of that because I enjoy spending time with someone other than Michael, and Michael cannot compete with John, even though it never was a competition. There's just a lot of things going on. There was a lot of things going on between Michael and I, that kind of stemmed from John, but sorry, my hair keeps messing up. But I talked a lot about Michael in my last video. Well, let me tell you, over the course of my spring break in college, I broke up with Michael. Yes, let it sink in. There is no more Michael. Which is, I'm still getting used to it. I mean, it's only been like a week and a half since I last broke up with him, but it feels like forever ago since I last saw him. It had been about 2 weeks before my spring break, that I actually saw him, but I had been asking him to come to Nashville and meet my family and do things that I want to do, and just go out of the way for me, do stuff for me. But he was fighting me against it from day one, and every time he did come to Nashville for me, my parents were never there. All we did was go to Bass Pro and Buffalo Wild Wings, and that really just got on my nerves. I really don't like those two places, and there were just a lot of things he did from the beginning that I pretended were not there, but they were. I mean, they continued to happen, and so it just kind of exploded out of me, and I had to write him a letter to explain all of these emotions I was feeling, just to get my thoughts organized, and he didn't like what I had to say in the letter, so we broke up. But like when I first met Michael, I can tell, looking back at it now, that I was very vulnerable, and I was just looking for a relationship. I mean, I was lacking the love for my dad, and things happen. I mean, girls do this all the time, right? Just get involved with the wrong guy, and I guess now I know a little more of who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And a lot of things I learned negatively from Michael that I don't want in my future relationships. I mean, we make mistakes all the time, and hopefully we learn from those mistakes. I hope and pray that I don't repeat those mistakes, because I really don't want to. But a lot of things have happened between Michael and I, and it's still kind of sad that we're not together anymore. But my spring break kind of revolved around that, because Michael and I were arguing a lot, calling each other and just not being very nice to each other. But the only other main thing I did on spring break was I went out to the club for the first time downtown Nashville with my best friend Sarah. We went to McFadden's downtown Nashville. It was great. It was so much fun. I could definitely say that we got down there way too early than what you normally should, because the DJ sucked. He kept playing all these old songs like from the 90s. It was horrible. Like, oh, I couldn't, there was nobody on the dance floor, and I didn't even want to like be in there just because it was just horrible. We had to get these huge X's on our hands and $10 entrance fee or whatever because we're 18. But then like around 10:30 or 11, the DJ started playing really good songs, like the modern day, I say, pop songs. And it was really embarrassing though, because me, my mom, and my friend Sarah were the first ones to get out there on the dance floor. And of course that's embarrassing. I mean, it's like breaking the ice. But we did that, and I danced the night away. It was so much fun. I mean, it was the first night after I broke up with Michael that I went to McFadden's, so it was like, party over here, like I'm a single lady, you know. And there was a group of guys that we ended up like dancing the whole night with, and it was super fun. But because it was my first time going out clubbing, I kind of took my mom and John with me, like just because they paid and drove us there and drove us home. But at the end of the night, I learned that is why you do not take your parents clubbing with you, because right when it was starting to get good between this guy and me, we were dancing, my mom came onto the dance floor, and I was like, well, I can't do anything now. Because, I mean, it's just awkward having your mom, like, watch you while you're dancing with some guy. Yeah, so that was pretty much my spring break. On the week after my spring break, which was about, I would say last week or the weekend before that, I don't remember. But Tuesday, everyone around me was telling me that they were getting denied and not accepted into nursing school, because the week after spring break is when the letters go out. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get in. You know, these people are so much smarter than me, and what am I going to do? But on Tuesday, I got an email from the nursing program, and I was so nervous to open it. In fact, I was with one of my friends who did not get accepted, and so that was kind of awkward. But I opened the letter, and I got in. I got accepted into nursing school. Next fall, I'm going to nursing school. I will be Nurse Brianna. I'm so excited. My dreams are coming true, you guys. Like, I have a goal for my life, and I'm not stopping until I reach that goal. But I got accepted, and you know what happened on the same day that I got accepted? When my classes were done, my friend Anissa was having a pretty bad day, and I could tell. She said she would stop by later in my room, and she did, but she ended up passing out on my floor, and I was freaking out. I was praying with her, and I had to call 911 to save her life, because little did I know that she had taken a lot of pills before she came to my room because she was, I would say she's clinically depressed, but no one has diagnosed her with that. But so I had to deal with that, and that was a huge emotional, I would say it was very traumatic for me because, I was raised in a close-knit family and, a Christian school. Stuff like that just does not happen in my life. I'm not saying my life is perfect, but my best friend could have died on my floor. And that was not something I wanted to be responsible for. That is not something I thought that I could handle. And so it was very traumatic for me. But we're getting through it and we're moving forward. And the Lord is with me. I mean, there's really not much I can say about it, negatively or positively, but that's what happened. And then a couple days later, my other friend had texted me and was like, will you go with me to the police station because somebody stole the radio out of my truck? And I was like, what am I, your go-to gal? Like, everyone is coming to me with these issues. And at one point, it did become so overwhelming. I was like, well, I can't even deal with your problems when I can barely deal with my own. Like, every single weekend that I go home, I'm like an emotional wreck. Like, I cry all the time. I'm just sad all the time when I go home now because of my dad. I'm dealing with these issues about my dad, and it's been a really emotional time for me these past like 2 months. And I'm hoping that in the next 2 weeks or so that I will get some closure, because I can't hardly explain to you these daddy issues that I'm having because what my dad and I have been throughout the past year is it's very hard for an outsider to understand. He is just not acting like the father that I thought he was, and he's just not there for me when I need him. I cannot go to him for anything spiritually, emotionally. He is what we can say a lousy father. I am so sorry. This girl out in the hallway is so freaking loud. She sits out there all the time on the phone. Like, it really pisses me off. I can't do anything about it. But where I was saying about my lousy father, it's just very upsetting emotionally because I'm 18 and I'm having to make the decision to cut him out of my life. And that is it's just very hard for me because my family was once so good and now it's so bad. Like, I have a bad dad, and that's something I'm learning to deal with. I mean, learning to balance John and Dad because John is so much better than my dad, and who can I go to for this certain things, and that's just very hard. In fact, I wrote a letter to him as well to get my thoughts out, and it's kind of ironic because usually whenever I write someone a letter, it ends our relationship, as you can tell from Michael and now my dad. So 2 of the most important men, I guess you could say, are not in my life anymore, except for God. God is number 1, but a girl will always need her father, and a girl always wants that relationship with her dad, to be close to him and everything, which I don't have. And it's kind of hurtful to have to go through that at such a young age. I mean, my dad is angry and all the time with me. I'm never good enough for my dad. But even though this is YouTube and it's through the computer and everything, girls out there who have daddy issues, I know what you're going through. I know what it feels like. And in a way, I'm here for you. I would love to just encourage you and be strong with you through everything because it's just as hard for me too. But changing subjects abruptly, on a lighter note, I am obsessed with Red Bull. This is like the best drink ever. I don't drink it all the time because, well, John ended up getting me like a 24 pack for my dorm, so I have like a ton of them here. And I told myself I would only drink it when I need them, like if I'm studying late at night or something. I just kind of drank this one to relax a little bit, even though it doesn't relax me. It makes me hyper, which is why I'm making this video. But, I basically just bombed 2 chemistry tests, which is kind of sad because I have a C in my online chemistry class and my grade just keeps getting lower and lower, and I did not expect to make a 36 on my chemistry test today, and it's just very hard for me to deal with because, like, if my grade goes any lower, the nursing program can like revoke my acceptance, and I'm just worried about that. But chemistry is my hardest class. It's very hard. But I don't really care about that. I'm ready to be done. Like senioritis, freshmanitis, whatever you want to call it, it hits me hard because I'm done with school. I hate this. I'm ready to be in nursing school. Nursing school is only 4 semesters. Can you believe that? I will be a registered nurse by the age of 21. That is insane. I cannot wait to take care of babies and be a nurse and everything. It's going to be so amazing because it's what I want to do with my life. It's like, bam, get started, you know, like get on the track of where I need to be rather than this hellhole. Speaking of, I cannot wait to get out of PFT. I'm getting an apartment next fall, which is when I start nursing school as well, it's going to be a change for me only because I'm growing up so fast. Like, I have to get a job on top of going to nursing school. I have to get a job so I can pay for this apartment. But it's going to be a great experience. I know it is because I have 3 friends rooming with me. They're all really good girlfriends. And it's like my friend Sarah Kenning. I know I've talked about her a couple times probably in these videos. It's her, and then my friend Olivia from high school is rooming with me, and then one of her friends is going to be rooming with us. I don't really know the third girl, but it's going to be great. I know it is. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to get out of PFT. It's a really bad place, you guys, and I know every dorm room experience is different, but just make sure you do a lot of your research before you pick a residence hall for college, just because, you know, especially if it's a big party school.